Hello everyone. First off, before I start this video, I would like to apologize for all the time that I have been MIA and not uploading videos. It's really shameful. I know, I'm very disappointed in myself. I was gone for a week out of town doing a field school, and it was very exciting and had tons of fun, but I was exhausted every day when I got back, and so I got no reading done that entire week. No reading. None. Zilch. So that was really shameful. And then also, when I got back, my mom was in town, and I got very little reading done. I did finish a book, the book that I'm getting ready to review right now, but I didn't want to review while she was in the apartment, and I'm very self-conscious, and so I went and made a big mistake, and I filmed this review originally in my campus library in a study room that was very weird and very echoey, and there was like a window into the library from the study room, and people were walking by and like making weird faces at me. So I felt the judgment. It was horrible. The sound was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I kept looking over here because that's where the window was, and like people were distracting me, and it was just bad. It was that video will never see the light of day. The book I'm reviewing was really excellent. I really loved it. And it's gonna be another one of my, if you like Game of Thrones, you're probably gonna like this book. Kelley Armstrong's Sea of Shadows. So this is the first book in the series, and it was excellent, absolutely excellent, and I just loved this book so much. I am going to give this book a 4.8 stars out of 5. I had a few things I didn't like about it, but they were very nitpicky things I didn't like about it. So overall, I love this book. It was perfection. Perfection. And yeah, I highly suggest this book. For those of you who don't know what Sea of Shadows is about, it's about twin teenage girls, are about 16 years old, that are called the Seeker and the Keeper in their village, and their job is to redeem and help the souls of those that have died and weren't buried or given proper recognition, and they just kind of keep the peace between humans and the spirit world. It's also kind of in a post-apocalyptic kind of setting where you know, their village is surrounded by the wastes, and it's basically just like this wilderness that's been totally taken over by nature, and people just can't live in it. And even most animals can't live in it either. And there's I really thought it was very Games of Thrones-y just because of the supernatural element to this book. I didn't realize how creepy this book was going to be, and it was extremely creepy. It wasn't scary, but it was very creepy and very spooky and dark, and I really was surprised by that and very pleased by that. So yeah, it's a fantasy novel, it's spooky, it's really good. The characters are so well developed and just so interesting. Every character is just so interesting, and the culture and the way that this world has been built is just so interesting and just so intriguing, and I am really excited to see where this series goes next, because this is the first book, and I think it's gonna be a trilogy, and it's really setting up for some major battle sequences, I'm just gonna say. And so now I'm gonna go on to the review. If you haven't read Sea of Shadows, I suggest you go and read it, and then you watch this video, because I'm getting ready to discuss it now. Okay, bye. So yeah, I had a hard time, you know, because I started reading this book right after White Cat, and then I went away for a week, and I read like one page in the entire week that I was out of town, and by the time I got home, I had to reread that page anyway, because it was like, it's too long ago, I can't remember what it was about, and yeah, but once I got home, I flew through this book pretty fast. It was very interesting, very quick pace, very busy. It was non-stop. It was literally like every like 2 pages something major was happening. I loved the sisters and their relationship with their bond beast. The animal bond beast relationship with the girls, very interesting, very unique, and very endearing for their characters and for the animals, and how their bond beast's personality really reflected their own. And yeah, I found that very, very entertaining. I liked the 2 guys they had that as their escorts, I guess, through the waste to help them get through, Gavril and Ronan. Reading this book, I was a little team Ronan from the start, but if I had to choose which sister I would be, I would say Moria. I liked her personality a little bit more. She was a little more feisty, I guess, and hot-headed, and I found that more entertaining, even though I did like Ashen and thought that she was very sweet. It's really hard because, like, both sisters were very good people and just, like, very endearing characters that you could really thoroughly enjoy, and you know, they have their strengths, their personality strengths, but both of them are personality strengths that I feel like relatable, and we all have our moments where we feel like more like a Moria or more like an Ashen than the other, and, you know, back and forth. And so yeah, I really enjoyed the sisters. I felt like they were very understandable, and I liked their personalities. One thing that I will say about this book that really made it stand out against other books that I've read was the fact that it kept surprising me. There were so many twists and turns and whodunits in this book that I really couldn't explain. I really couldn't see coming, and I was pleasantly surprised with. This book got me so many times where I did not see that coming, and I was so happy about that because, you know, usually there'll be like one thing in a book where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But nothing about this book felt predictable. You know, some of the like, okay, once they had the Shadow Stalkers, I kind of figured that the other creatures of their tales would come true, and that the ones that they haven't shown in this book will probably come true in other books to, you know, go on. As far as whose whose seal that was on the letter, and who was leading this whole thing, and Gavril's betrayal, and the whole Winda thing, that just, all of those things just kind of shocked me, and I just didn't see coming, and I was so just like, oh my god, what? One thing I will say about this book, that if you have an answer to this, or you have some ideas of what is happening in this book, please leave me a comment. There's one thing, I'm gonna get to it, but there's one thing in this book that really bothered me, really confused me, and I was just, I don't know if I read it wrong, or I'm just like not picking up on something or what, but the whole Winda thing. Okay, now I know she's being possessed. She's not dead that they know of, but she's being possessed by some kind of Shadow Stalker kind of esque thing, right? Okay, well, you know, at the end of that chapter where she attacks, it says she attacks Ashen, and they switch over to the next chapter, and Ashen and Ronan are already in the attic trying to, he's showing her the escape route. And then the next time they're back in their quarters, they talk only briefly about what had happened, and that Winda's clothes are pushed into the corner of the room. So where did Winda go? What happened there? I feel like it was very like, she attacked her and now she's gone. Like I feel like I missed something, like maybe like I'm missing pages in my book, but I'm not. What just happened? When I read it, I was like, wait, what? But they're not going to tell us what happens next? I was like, they just skipped over it. What? So yeah, if you have a clue more than me, or you have an idea or a suggestion or anything, please leave me a comment. I am so confused what just happened in this book. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it took me so long to get to all of you. I missed you guys. And subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!